Dr. Jere here with Mills Chiropractic and Wellness Center. And this month we have just been diving all the way into inflammation, right? We've talked a little bit about the difference between acute and chronic inflammation. We talked about how the body uses inflammation for healing and can be a good thing. How inflammation is really just meaning that the immune system has been activated in some way, which can, obviously be a good thing as well. So a lot of times when we try stopping inflammation, we downregulate the immune system, and that creates a whole bunch of other issues. And so anyway, we've kind of dove into some of these little nuances. Today, though, because chronic inflammation, and if you remember that, chronic inflammation is linked to pretty much almost all the diseases that are out there, right? And so today I wanted to talk a little bit about what are some ways to control inflammation. And really the list is rather straightforward and rather simple sounding, but the application or the procedure on how to do that does require a little bit of work, but not a ton. Okay, so these things are all very possible. And as we move into 2024, I think if you have a chronic condition or a chronic disease, controlling inflammation really is one of the key steps to being able to move forward. So what are some of the key things? Well, one of the first things is maintaining a healthy weight. I said these things would be simple, but I didn't necessarily say they'd be easy, right? So controlling weight is one of the biggest things for controlling inflammation. Eating a good balanced diet full of vegetables and especially antioxidants, foods that are rich in these anti-inflammatories and antioxidants. Getting enough rest. This is actually a really big thing, and it also starts to feed on each other, because when we're inflamed, it messes with our hormones, and as our hormones get dysregulated, it messes with our sleep, and as we mess with our sleep, we dysregulate our hormones, which creates more inflammation, which creates more sleep problems, right? And this cycle just starts continuing. And what a lot of the new research is really suggesting now is things like even depression and anxiety. These are really inflammatory processes taking place within the brain, but that also shows up in all these other aspects, everything from mood to being able to get a good night's sleep, right? And then exercising regularly and exercising appropriate for your condition level, right? Like if we go out and try to run a marathon that we're not ready for, we're probably going to create a lot more damage and inflammation. However, if we can maintain a regular exercise routine, it helps with everything else, from our diet, our eating weight, right? Our sleeping, our mood, just all these other positive benefits, but it also promotes a more balanced inflammation response or immune response when the time comes around. And so, I did mention a little bit real quickly about the role of antioxidants and getting more of those in our diet to try to help control inflammation. And these are things like berries, especially like blueberries and strawberries, things like turmeric. We use a lot of curcumin, which is an extract from turmeric, right? It's a great anti-inflammatory that we get good results with, and patients tend to respond really well with. Eating your green vegetables, basically foods that are more colorful, not because of food additives or food dyes and food coloring, right? But that are naturally more colorful are the ones that we want to try to focus on. There's a book a number of years ago called Eating the Rainbow. And basically it's that concept that the more color we get into our diet, the healthier we're going to be. And that really is proved out over and over and over again in the research. And then, like I said, as far as controlling weight, one of the big things with that is controlling blood sugar and just staying away from things that spike and drop our blood sugar, staying away from the treats. I know we're moving, we're full on into the holidays, and there are snacks and all kinds of good stuff pretty much everywhere. But as we rise and drop that insulin or that glucose, which rises and drops our insulin, which ultimately ends up rising and dropping our cortisol, which is our stress hormone, which causes us to put on more weight, which messes up our sleep cycle, which starts to create inflammation in and of itself. So, it's just all these little things, right? They do add up and they do make a difference. Now, you may not notice an immediate effect if you skip one treat, but if you are able to start replacing some of those poor choices with some better choices and continue moving in that direction, you'll be miles and miles down the road at getting in front of this inflammation. And so I hope you guys have gotten something from this workshop and this month on inflammation. It's such a fun topic, and I love talking about it. because it's a lot of what we see in the practice, right? And there's so many things that patients aren't aware of that they can do that's going to help. So until next time, stay healthy, stay well.